to A Well-Designed Business. My name is Luann Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of A Well-Designed Business. On the show today, we are talking about monetizing your blog with interior designer and well-known blogger Deborah Von Donop. Deborah is the principal of DVD Interiors in Connecticut, and she is the editor and founder of the national blog DVD Interior Design. She also guest blogs for a variety of other sites, including Westchester Magazine, iBlog Magazine, blissfullydomestic.com, and more. Deborah writes weekly on design resources, highlights from industry events, and interior design topics aimed to educate and inspire her readers. Her experience includes a BFA in Interior Architecture from Cal State University, Long Beach, a CCIDQ certification, an NCIDQ certification, and a LEED GA credential. This all combines and brings an in-depth knowledge to all of her projects. Deborah's show pairs nicely with an upcoming show featuring Claire Jefford, which will air next week. Deborah and I talk in depth about how and why it is important to create a content-rich blog to drive readers and design enthusiasts to your website for the opportunity to monetize through affiliate links and sponsored content. Now, Claire's show follows up with how to create your own content to sell through your website and blog, so be on the lookout for that. Before we get to the show, I want to say it's Kips Bay show house time in New York City right now. If you're listening in real time, May 2018, be sure to visit. And I want to give a special shout out to Pavarini Design, who designed the penthouse. It is called the Wellness Retreat for Mind, Body, and Spirit. And if you get in to visit, there's a special feature we have there for you. It's an audio guided tour narrated by Charles Pavarini and myself that you can download to your phone and listen while you tour the room. So it's like when you go to a museum and they give you headsets so you learn the backstory of everything you're seeing. Well, we did this for the Wellness Retreat. Charles and Randall came up with the idea and asked me if I could create this with them, and I jumped at it. You know, I love and adore these guys, and I've worked with them for many years, so I would do almost anything they needed, but this was such an out-of-the-box idea, and I just loved it. So be sure to visit the show house this month and let us know what you think about this exciting new innovation. I mean, no one has ever done this to our knowledge before. Had a audio guided tour that you could download from your iPhone while being in a show house room. So please go visit the Kips Bay show house this month. For days and times, you can go to Kips Bay Decorators Showhouse.org. Alrighty, I'm looking forward to introducing you to Deborah. Hey, Deborah, thanks so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Hi, Luann. How are you? Thank you for that nice introduction.
Yeah, so Deborah, we have been flirting around this interview for over a year, right? Like, we're going to do it, then we connect, and then we lose touch, and then we see each other again at an event. And I'm so glad that we finally just nailed it down, because in the last year that I've gotten to know you, I guess the first time I think I met you in person, correct me, was at the Designer Celebrity event in New York City at the Ethan Allen, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so we met there, and then you were at the birthday party for the podcast, right? I want to say, yep. So, and then of course online, all right? And so The thing is, what we are going to do, what I've learned in this last year, and is how proficient and how expert you are at being visible, at having a monetized website and a monetized blog, and really upping the game in social media. And what I love is that, you're an experienced 20-plus year interior designer. And as I said in the introduction, with all the prerequisite degrees and classifications and everything that go with it. So I know for a fact that we always, and we should, learn from people outside our industry, because it opens our eyes into ways and things that we might not thought of. But it also is very helpful when we are collaborating and getting information from people who have stood in our shoes. So that's the really cool thing here. Tell us a little bit about, you know me, Deborah, you listen to the show. I don't go down memory lane. When I was 5, I wanted to do this and I moved the furniture. But you do have this little section in your career which took you from being a full-time interior designer to look this new road and this new little path that is running side by side your interior design career. So tell us a little bit about that evolution, would you? So we're all up to speed.
Oh, yes, it'd be my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's I guess that story begins, well, I'm an interior designer. I have a degree. I've been working for a while in interior design. And then when I had small children, I focused from commercial and project management to start my own residential interior design business. And it was great. I loved it. And my clients are my friends, and I miss them when the projects are finished. But then 2009 happened, and a lot of people's stories will start on 2009, and
the
I had to
pivot year, right? Yeah, we both said at the same time.
It's a big pivot year. So I had to pivot and do something different that was going to allow me to earn income and take care of my children. And I kind of fell into this space of word of mouth marketing by accident. And I loved it. I just kind of embraced it. I learned everything I could. I read every book, went to every training session, every seminar to master this online media environment. At first, it was because I was managing e-commerce, and I was invited in to manage e-commerce in 2009. And I did everything with my partner. I did SEO 3 times on the site. I was doing Google Analytics. I set up the affiliate marketing program. We did Google AdWords. So the exposure was amazing. I was also the social media manager. So we were early adapters to Instagram. Pinterest was, very important. And Facebook, deep dive Facebook marketing was super important for any business. And now, I'm working again in interior design, but I feel that this part of the online environment has created another for revenue for me. And it's a revenue stream I do not want to give up, because I think it's important to broaden my view. So for example, my blog, my personal blog for my own business, I just started 2 years ago. And it has really widened my net of opportunities and people, and being able to attend events that I never was able attending before. And I can share out these stories through either my blog or my social media, on my social media channels, wherever somebody likes to be. And I really love it, I think. And I want to share with others what I've learned, because I think this branding yourself in the word of mouth marketing space is it's important. And it's also very cost effective.
Right. It's not, yes. Okay. So a couple of things in there to take apart is that what it is that I think a lot of us, this is what I'm hearing so far. It sounds like to me that a lot of us, moi included here, it's like, okay, let's do Instagram. And we just like pop on Instagram and we just start doing it. But what you're saying is that you, because of the position that you had and that opportunity that you had in 2009, working with or for whatever the arrangement was for the other company, you really learned it from the inside out, like learning it, as you described, from the SEO and the analytics standpoint, as opposed to like most of us are just throwing, stuff at the Instagram wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, so, from the e-commerce position that I held, I then evolved into managing an online magazine as an editor. So this was the other side of the equation. And I was becoming the voice through socials, through, it's a website that publishes 4 pieces of content every week.
Mm.
And it has a strong social presence. It's been around for 10 years. And so I was able to use all these skills on the blogger side now, where I was
Mm.
outreaching and receiving opportunities, what we call sponsored content opportunities, and sharing advertising and things like that to pay for the website, in addition to just providing great content.
Right.
But you do want to have an opportunity to make money to maintain the site because the site's expensive. And so, yeah, I'm taking all of these pivots, as we call them, and I'm now channeling them back into my industry for interior design. And I work very hard to keep both alive for myself.
Right. So you are in a position now where you are collecting all of this information that you learned. And I just heard it. So from the almost like the backside of the computer, all of the tools and the ways that it works on the backside, but then also on the face side of the computer with the blogging and the guest blogging and the sponsor content. And you're taking that double face experience and information, and you're now coming back and not only applying it in the last 2 years to your own interior design business through the blog that you launched for yourself 2 years ago, but now you're also now consulting and teaching designers how to do it.
Yes, yes. I mean, and because I am a designer, I
Mm-hmm.
understand this space and I
Mm-hmm.
understand who to connect with, who to talk to, which brands, are going to respond to you, and if they do respond to you, how to respond back, and what does that do for you? What opportunities, that can possibly provide for you. For me, the most important thing is that if you are a designer and you're published, let's say you were published in August magazine of your local decor magazine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's great. That's a wonderful accomplishment. But at the end of the month, where did that magazine go and where did the article go?
Right. It's at the
Right?
doctor's office on the coffee
So,
table.
yeah, and that's a wonderful accomplishment. So I really try and teach people about the opportunities of republishing your work, republishing your successes, republishing your articles, republishing your advertisements, because the person who read it in August of 2017 is not the person reading it in January of 2018,
Right.
or even February for that fact. And it's very important, and I think a lost opportunity for many people that they don't republish their work.
Mm. And when
And
you say republish your work, you're talking about not just photographs, you're talking about blog content to go along with
Mhm.
this, is what you mean, right?
Sure, sure. Or, so let's say you did a great project. Well, you should keep sharing that project. It shouldn't just stop with the magazine. You should be republishing it on your Facebook, your Instagram. Some people use Twitter. If you want to use Twitter, you can put it there. But giving people an opportunity to see it is really important.
And it sounds like to me you're not talking about just that post that says, "Hey, great day. I'm in
Hmm.
Design, New Jersey today." You're talking about pulling it apart and maybe making a story out of whatever the project was, and within that story saying, and by the way, this was already, I'm so happy and thrilled that this was
Hmm.
published in this magazine. But you're not talking about just, I just want to make sure I understand, not talking about just keep making an announcement that I was published in XYZ publication,
No,
right?
no.
Okay, so
Yeah,
clarify that a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the idea is not look at me, look at me, look at me.
Right.
The idea is sharing. I'm really excited. Thank you to the magazine. Thank you to the media. Thank you to my team. Thank you to my client. Like, you really, I think in socials, it's a space of being grateful. You really have to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a space to have conversations.
Right.
And so whether you're talking about what's happening around town, and you want to share that because it's an important fundraiser, it's a new shop, it's an activity that you want to share. You want to share your project. So you're getting a little deeper than just the article. It's a space where you share about your business. And it's, people have a portfolio page on their website, but not everybody gets to your website. So you use these other avenues to create your portfolio of who you are, what you deliver, and what kind of conversations you have.
Okay. So it starts with, when we talk about the overarching conversation, is how to monetize, right? How to monetize your website and your platform. So when we know that's our goal, we need to start with getting eyeballs there, because it's not going to happen without eyeballs. What do we like, take us to step one? I mean, how do we, and also, I guess, explain to us what level of eyeballs we need to realistically think we're going to monetize a blog or a website.
Well, the idea of being an influencer is that you have to have an audience. And in order to have an audience, you have to have conversations. So if you want to create a wallpaper or a furniture line for a company, they want to know that you have an audience that you bring to the table in addition to your design. And on another level, if you're just starting out and you have a blog to relay your message and what you're doing, and you want to make income there, what we call passive income, ideally, you want to set up avenues of opportunity. You have to really know what you're giving your audience. It's a karma space. You really have to give a lot before you ask for anything back. And Gary Vaynerchuck talks about that in his book, which was Jab, Jab, Punch. It's like a boxer. A boxer never just goes in and does his punch. He does a little jab here, a little jab there, and then he punches. So he is basically saying, when you're in your space, when you're in your social media space, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, you don't have to be everywhere, but just choose your space that you're going to be having conversations. You need to be knowing that you're giving to people information. You're giving them something to be inspired by, something as far as a resource and knowledge. And then once you start those conversations and people start following you for that information and that knowledge, you can start monetizing them. So I like to talk about 3 areas as good places to start, even though there's 12 areas that you could monetize. There's that shiny object syndrome that we all feel, where we go, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So I find that you just need to start somewhere, and you need to focus on it. So I like to talk about, how do you make money online, and how long is it, and what are the tricks? That's what everybody wants to know. Right. How long does it take, and what are the tricks? Well, most bloggers make their money in advertising. Okay. Probably 60% of their income comes from advertising. And advertising has become very sophisticated, actually. It's changed in the last few years. It's not this terrible video that runs with lots of sound as soon as somebody comes to your blog anymore. Right. It's the algorithms and all the background information allows it to be much more relevant than it used to be in the old days. So advertising's evolved to become much more sophisticated, and a lot of people make their money from advertising, and they just move on and they continue to write great content. And they let the ads sit there and create money for them. Okay. Another way to make money is in affiliate marketing. If you are sharing about a product that you really believe in and you put a link in and people buy it, you receive a small commission. You do need a lot of traffic for that to convert, but I think it's really good to start learning how to sell other people's product or things before you start selling your own product or things. And then you basically are making sure that you're always recommending products that you truly believe in. That's another. You have to have integrity in these recommendations.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yes, of course.
So when you think about that, is there when if somebody starts a Facebook group, it's like really icky if you just load people into that Facebook group, right? We all get like, wait a second, that's like, why did you do that? If I want to join, I'll join. Okay. Yes. So is that is that transferred to affiliate marketing? Like if somebody has a product or a book or whatever it is that you really love and believe in, is it the same ethical, like just that politeness that you have to send an email off to say, like for instance, if you had a book, is it appropriate or actually more polite if I send you an email and say, hey, Deborah, I'm really love to add your book to my website and my resource page as an affiliate link? Or is it that's not, I'm out of my lane there. I'm thinking of it the wrong way. If somebody sells something online, they're going to be like, yay, that person put it on their website and I don't care. Like, what's the ethics there? What am I looking for? It's not ethic. Etiquette is the word I'm looking for, not ethics, etiquette.
Well, do you sell your book through Amazon or are you self-published?
I do. No, yes.
Yeah,
Yes and yes.
Well, I mean, for example, if someone puts your book on their site, they're affiliating for you.
Right. And so what I'm saying is me as an author of that book, if I found that 15 people all thought that it was the best thing on the planet and they put it on their website to sell, I would not be offended. I'd be like, yes. But I'm just wondering. Oh my God,
it's the ultimate compliment.
But okay, so that's what I'm saying. But there isn't this etiquette thing about that. If you admire somebody's product, service, or whatever, and they're selling it on Amazon, you don't need to do the ask, can I put this on my platform? That's a compliment. It should be taken that way, and you believe in it, and you do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're selling a product, and if someone thinks it's relevant to their business or to their audience and they share that out, that's great. And I think that's the beauty, by the way, of being on Amazon is that, or being an affiliate for Amazon, is most people will go to you through the link. They'll end up on Amazon and they feel very safe. It's a site they know. They're probably even a Prime member, right? So sending people to Amazon is a great place to be in affiliate marketing because a lot of people believe in it. And a lot of people are members and they trust it and they feel safe there purchasing products. I also like being an affiliate for Amazon, which because they have everything.
Right.
And I saw them at High Point. They are really going after the home decor market. Right. They have every brand and vendor and manufacturer possible signing up. So if you're going to talk about product that is in the mainstream, I mean, I'm being very interior designer here. Right. I don't like that everybody's on Amazon, but there is a clientele that's going to purchase from my site and they're never going to hire me as a designer.
Right.
So I'm happy to give them the resources that are sitting on Amazon for them to look at because I look at outdoor furniture every month, every year, and I have a real preference for a certain brand or a certain look. And I'm happy to share that with people.
Okay. So that is not an etiquette thing in this space. And that's just what I wanted to clear up.
You're selling a product and someone is using their word of mouth marketing to also sell your product. That's a compliment. It's the ultimate compliment.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up because if there was an etiquette thing about that, then I needed us to say that to the designers listening. Look, if you're going to do this, that's icky. Send an email and ask for permission. But I'm glad to know that because look, I've had how many dozens and dozens of guests on the show in the last 2.5 years, and I have not done that. I have not just gone and grabbed their product and put it on a resource page of mine because I've never known the answer to that. And honestly, I'm moving too fast to stop and ask. And so it's nice to know, if it's something that I believe in and I share. So that's your criteria as the person with the blog, whether it's me sitting in my chair or a designer of a colleague of ours listening in their chair. The thing is to not load your blog or your website or your resource page up with a bunch of nonsense like Ginzu knives, like hello, correct. Right? Like you want to load it, you want to keep your authenticity about it. Like if you read my book and you don't like it, then you probably don't want it on your site.
Right. The key is to remember that bloggers have credibility.
Right. That's the thing. You can't abuse that, right?
Right. And I don't think they do. They wouldn't maintain
I'm
their
saying,
credibility.
We're
if they
advising
did.
people now, though. If you want to do this, don't abuse your credibility.
Correct. And the good news for people is to know that, it used to be only the top 1% of bloggers had this opportunity to influence and provide sponsor content, which I didn't get to as my third way to make money. So we talked about advertising, affiliate marketing, and sponsor content. But the good news for middle bloggers is that they are rising in the space, that brands realize that even middle bloggers have great credibility. You can still have profitability with a small list. You do not have to have a giant list in order to to engage and create income, because you have an audience. And if you engage with your audience, that's the most important thing. I mean, you cannot start a cold engine. You can have 1 million followers, but if they don't engage with you, it doesn't do anything. If you have a small list and you're engaging with them, you have credibility. And that's the most important thing as a blogger to realize, is that you have opportunities there for you.
Right. Well, I mean, look, the credibility thing is huge. My podcast is essentially a blog. Let's be real, right? I'm giving away content every single week. I'm giving. I'm sharing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm monetizing it. Let's be serious.
Yes.
It's a business. It's not a hobby.
Well, and it's an expense to do this. This is not free.
Exactly right.
It takes a team, and so you should monetize it so that it can be here for a while.
Right. But where I was going is, I have had products and brands and services reach out to me to want to be an advertiser, a sponsor on the podcast. And if it doesn't line up, I'm like, no,
this is huge.
Yes,
this is huge,
that's
because it's very, thank you for that point. It is very important that you speak about things that you personally really believe in. And it has to be a consistent story within your site, whether you talk in Facebook or you talk on Instagram or you talk through a blog. You have to be consistent about your message and what your audience is looking for. And I think you know what your audience wants, so you can filter out these opportunities, not just take them because they're going to offer you money, but take them because they align with your brand and they align with your message.
Right. And that is something that what I would say to someone listening, a colleague listening that has a blog, and they're a little further on the path as past, just starting, and they're starting to get those opportunities coming at them, or they're looking at the opportunities where they can place advertising or sponsored ads and so forth like that, is if you look at it and you think, like if you just get that little, like I'm not sure that fits, then that's an NO. Like just listen to your gut on it and go, know, and the thing is, I know for me, look, people are reaching out almost every week. Love your podcast, want to sponsor. And sometimes I look at the brand and then I go to the website and I'm just like, this isn't just like a storefront here. Like we're doing something that has a very clear mission, and you don't line up with it. But when you're newer, younger, more, looking to monetize, you could be swayed a little. And so the value of what you're expressing is stay there, stay true to yourself, because you'll ruin whatever you're trying to build. Right, Deborah?
Yes, it is. It is, staying on your path is really important. It's hard to do. I mean, sometimes I do feel like I'm throwing a lot of spaghetti on the ceiling and I'm waiting to see when it sticks. And then then I know the pot's done. So you do, you see a lot of people doing a lot of things and you want to try it, but you do have to stay your path, and you need to be clear about your conversation and what it is. So for example, I gave like affiliate marketing. I have bloggers that are my friends, and they have a tremendous amount of traffic, but they tell me I will not write about something unless I can put affiliate links in there. That's it. So they may be offered sponsored content or advertising or to do an event or fly here and see this or do that. And they'll say, no, thank you. I write content. I stage things. I write about decor. I give tips on how people can, improve their home environment. And that's my focus. Whereas I have other bloggers that I'm friends with that work primarily in sponsored content. Okay. They like sponsored content. They have brands that aligned with their message, and they like to share about them. And they like to talk about the products. And so, you just have to keep your conversation going, try different areas of advertising, affiliate marketing, or sponsored content, and you'll find where you belong. You'll find where is the best place for you.
So let me ask you the distinction there. So affiliate marketing, when you have the bloggers that only will write a post that includes an affiliate link, that is what we were just discussing for a few moments. So I'm going to write this whole post about someone's book or someone's, new gadget or whatever, and it aligns with my audience, aligns with my design industry, and you can click on it and buy the gadget. Okay, so maybe whatever. Okay. The sponsored content is when that brand pays dollar bills, a transaction for the blogger to write about their thing. So that's like my sponsored shows. Like I have, article.com, FreshBooks. They said, we want to be on your show. And I'm like, well, you're really an advertisement. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you're not coming in here to talk to us about how you run article.com. You're coming here to tell my interior designers about article.com. I'm like, so you pay for that. And when I say this is a sponsored show, that's exactly what has happened. But like, that's what I was mentioning before. I've had brands that are just, I'm like, your household cleaning materials. Like, no, you know what I mean?
That will happen, or they say you should approach a brand. But I have another idea about that,
Okay.
and I go through this on my website as well. I wrote a post recapping this conversation of how to make money on your website, and I like signing up to what I call networks. These are networks that are working in online media and advertising, and you basically sign up with them. You say that you're interested in the home decor category, and when opportunities come along, you sign up to go into that opportunity. So every week I get an email from these sponsored content sites, these what we call networks really. And there's probably every month there's a new network joining telling me how great they are. But I listed my top 10 favorite that I've worked with on my site. And what happens is I get an email every week. Look, these are the brands that are coming to us and they're interested in sponsored content in bloggers' sites. Do you want to do any of these opportunities? And you
it's like a clearinghouse. It's like a clearinghouse.
It is. And so it doesn't mean just because you want it doesn't mean you get it, by the way.
Okay.
So, for example, Seagram's wants to talk about, beverages. And so I fill out the application, and then on the bottom it says, why do you think you're a good fit for this opportunity? Well, just so you know, the brand is reading that article. So the network is compiling everything together and giving it to the brand to decide who they want to work with that are bloggers. And I like these networks because they set up the parameters, they do all the measuring, they set up the opportunity, and I find
the pricing is set.
It's much more profitable on my time. And I'm telling you, if a brand comes to these networks, they understand the online market environment. They really do it. So you don't have to teach them.
Right. You don't have to explain the whole value of, if you're on my blog or if you're on my show, this is what will happen. It's like they get it. They're at hello. Okay. But is the pricing set? In other words, you can't say, well, is it set by the number of unique visits that you have per month? Or is it set by the loyalty of your audience? How do they decide how much they're going to pay you for that sponsored content?
Well, you never really know what the brand's priority are, what their priorities are. But the fact is you fill out the application. If you're being pitched, you must fit somehow into that brand. And you just make your best pitch. Now, again, it's not the biggest numbers that win all the time. Sometimes it can be, that they really want to focus on Facebook and you have a great Facebook audience. Or they might want to focus in Instagram. So we have some heavy Instagrammers with great engagement and they choose to go with them. You don't always know what the brands want, but overall, they do want to activate in that what we call the word of mouth marketing environment. And it's a great environment because people are making new products all the time and they need to have people see them.
Okay.
And so marketing through blogs is a wonderful way to do that.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's like I'm at book club and I say, I went to Joe's to get my tires for my car. It was a great price, great service. And everybody at the book club says,
right.
Tires. I'm going to go to Joe's.
Right, exactly.
So that's what that's the word of mouth marketing.
Now, are these networks a couple of names of networks that we can share, or is that weird, or do we have to just Google it? Or, because if there's a designer listening that's got a pretty, rockin' blog, is it something we can share or no?
Oh, no, I can share it. I just want to, I have, there's 10 of them. So I'm just want to make sure. So for example, my first time I ever did this was with a network called One-to-One Network, which I really like. There's Influence, tapinfluence.com. Pollinate is another great environment to work in. There's Sits Girls. There's Swerve. Swerve is a great one. So you basically have to go in and set up your profile for each of them, and then you'll receive the weekly emails.
Cool.
And when you get these weekly opportunity emails, you'll start to see which one's the best fit for you.
Mm-hmm. Start to align with your message and stuff. Reminds me of Harrow, help a reporter out, right?
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Same thing, but more focused. And its truth is, I have to say, recently, maybe in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I was contacted by a outfit that seems to be doing this exact same thing for podcasters. They're collating the brands that are interested in advertising and sponsoring podcasters. And that was exactly how it came up with the one that was house cleaning supplies. And they said to me,
right.
Well, every interior designer cleans, has a house to clean. I'm like, yeah, but I was like, that's a stretch.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but
you spend a lot of time doing outreach to brands to sponsor you. Whereas if you had a network that you could go to that was setting up the program, it would really save you a lot of time.
Well, and like you said, they already get the value. You're not trying to explain it to them why. So, but right. we have like skipped ahead, because what we've done is that we've said that 60% of all blogs are being monetized from advertising, that there's
Correct.
affiliate marketing, and that there's sponsored content. But we haven't discussed how you get your blog to the point that it's worthwhile to divert your attention to try and monetize your blog. Because honestly, if, like my Luann Nigara blog and the Window Works blog, like nobody's paying for that because I haven't developed those platforms out. So
right.
what are our steps for developing our blogs out? Is it a matter of how many blog posts? Is it a matter of how many months it's been going? Is it a matter of getting eyeballs there? Tell us about that step.
Well, there are learning curves with each of these methods, and I suggest that you get started with them early in the game. For example, setting up advertising. You have to work with HTML. You have to figure out your placement. Now, I'm not saying fill your site up with 100 ads, but, put 2 or 3 on there and see how they perform. Figure out your best placements. What are the best places for your ads? You're really just learning to work with advertising. Don't expect there to be a lot of profitability. I mean, I would say the most important thing is producing content weekly. That's number one.
Weekly content.
Yes, you have to produce content and publish it weekly. And then you start generating, you make Google happy if you do that. That's your number one priority. And then sharing it out socially so that you can drive traffic to your site and to these particular posts is also very important. But if you can set up some of these methods early on and learn how to work them, then you'll be more focused when the traffic does start coming in faster. And for example, I'm not saying that you should fill every post with affiliate links, but let's say you went to World Market and you thought it was this amazing store for people who are DIY, and you want to share that with them. Go ahead. Share it, share pictures, share links. If somebody's going to buy your recommendation and you make a small commission, that's a good thing. But now, these are,
Well, I want to ask you about that. So say I am a designer listening and I've got a blog, and maybe I've been blogging for 6 months or a year, and it's me, my mother, and my sister reading it pretty much, and the 10 clients that I have. Okay. Are you saying that even at that level, just go ahead and start down this path? If you've just been to, like you just said, World Market, now put a DIY post out and affiliate tag World Market. Are you saying, no, wait, get 50,000 people there, then do it? Which one are you saying?
No, I would definitely
just start.
I would start in it, but I wouldn't make 90% of my content affiliate content. I would just start in it. I would create some posts in there so that you learn how to work with it. The most important thing, nothing lives without traffic or quality content. Those are the golden rings of a site. And then within that content, you want to monetize your conversation. So you need to learn how to monetize your conversation, because eventually you want to sell your own stuff. So you need to learn how to sell other people's stuff. But I'm going to tell you now, you need to have, for affiliate links, you need to have a large volume of traffic. Now, what's a large volume of traffic? For some people, that's 25,000 unique monthly views. For affiliate marketing, I would say you probably need to have 100,000 unique monthly views to think that you're going to make any substantial amount of income. But every little bit helps, and you're learning to also have your audience not feel that affiliate links are uncomfortable for them. You want them to be used to seeing them. Just like ads, you want them to be used to seeing ads on your site. It costs money to have a site. You can have a couple ads there. And I think you should get them used to seeing those.
So I'm hearing your distinction. You said get used to doing it so that when you get busy and it's happening, you've got it locked down. So so I get it now. What you're saying is that even if you don't have a big audience, you have your own clients and your circle of friends and family. What you're saying is you're not going to probably make more, anything, let alone a few dollars on that link to world market. But you're saying two things. Number one, as the business owner, as the designer, as the blogger, you're understanding how to authentically include the affiliate marketing, how to authentically create the posts that serve your audience, serve the DIY community, or whatever the focus is on your blog, and how to actually construct a blog post that has those embedded. And so we don't really care that we don't make any money, and we are also setting up our audience as we grow it, that we do occasionally. It's like me. I started with a sponsor. So from day one, I have a sponsor. There's no secret. This is somebody's paying for all of us to do this fun stuff. So, but you're also saying as a beginner, you're not going to put affiliate marketing in every post every week. Maybe you do it once every 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, just enough so that you're understanding the tools, the mechanisms, and how to do it. And you're little by little, your audience is understanding that that's there. I get it.
I mean, honestly, it's a method for making money, but there are some tips to doing it. One of them is to make sure that content is evergreen. So you wrote it, you wrote it this June, but you can republish it next June with these same links again and not have to rewrite the article, because putting in links takes time.
Right.
And so you want to make sure, if you're writing in a post that has affiliate links, you want to make sure they're evergreen. They live on and they'll sit there for a while. And as your traffic increases, people may visit that and you may, increase your income. The other thing is to remember that when brands write about product, they're all writing usually about fourth quarter. All brands gear up to fourth quarter market. That's where they make most of their money. So when you're writing affiliate posts, think about fourth quarter. That's why gift guides are everywhere, because people realize that they can repurpose this post over and over again every year and just updates a few of the links, but it's evergreen and it's geared towards fourth quarter. I think that's where most affiliate links will convert, is in fourth quarter.
So I'm confused there. So what we're saying is that
if you're going to go down that path, just know that it needs to be evergreen content and probably focused on fourth quarter.
But my question is are you saying that if you put a blog post out that is evergreen content, this month, July, forget the fourth quarter thing, because first you just said in general, make it evergreen. So I'm going to put a blog post out this month in, May or June about outdoor furniture. And I'm going to do the whole blog post about how to decorate your patio. I'm going to put my links in. Are you saying I'm going to take that exact post and next June repost the exact same thing to my website, my blog again?
Well, you'll share it out. Yeah, you'll share it out again next June because it's relevant again next June. It's evergreen. So every
it's
June
still there only
customers.
The one time, but you're going to share it out through your channels again.
Definitely, because the person that's reading this May is not the person reading next May, but they both have the same problem. Or, we want to upgrade our patio. We're feeling a little cabin fever here, and we need to get outside. I'm really focused on my outdoor environment. What are some tips? What are some great products for me to consider? Where do I get my best pricing? Well, if you have the answer to those questions, share it.
Right. Now, in that spirit of evergreen, does being evergreen mean the criteria mean that we stay away from talking about, say you're a blogger that has small children, and the small children are often a part of your existence online, and everybody knows that you have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So are we saying that in those posts that we're going to include those links that we're anticipating being an evergreen post that we would repost seasonally? We're not going to say, me and my 2 and my 3-year-old, we were out looking at outdoor. You're saying literally keep it timeless. Don't indicate daytime, year, what's happening in the world. That's not a post for that. Whereas your next post might be her first birthday party and we this.
Yeah, I mean, you could, you could do that. I think the thing is, well, even a 1-year-old birthday party is evergreen. There's always someone looking for tips on that. But does that align with your audience? If you're a mommy blogger, that aligns with your audience. Go ahead.
Okay.
But I will say, we spent a lot of time talking about affiliate marketing. I really think your time is better spent creating quality content.
Absolutely.
Answers questions and provides answers to people. And I really think that is the golden ring. And once you have enough of that type of content on your site, then your advertising is really going to be much more active and pay you some income. So these are all just what we call income funnels, because they each kind of drip in there, into creating overall income for you. But the most important thing is creating quality content. So for example, let's just say I have a site and I publish 5 times a month. Well, if I can just pick up one sponsored content post a month and write that as a quality content post, it works for me. I get paid for it and it sits on my site and still answers questions. And that's a great thing. So that's why sponsored content is a wonderful opportunity for creating income on your site. So for example, I have a friend who's a food blogger. I have her as an example on my blog post, and she's a vegan writer. And she's also gluten-free. So a gluten-free company came to her and she made a pizza and it was delicious. And she shared the recipe and she shared about this wonderful flour that she used. And it was content that will live on her site because it aligns with her message for a long time. And she got paid to write the post, but the post itself is still offering solutions to her audience.
Right.
That is the most important thing.
Right. That really is. That it really is the most critical thing. It's that you are giving away your best stuff all the time. You don't hold it back. And then when you do that, then people are drawn to it. People need it. They're interested in it. And then that's when you can start to put some price tags attached to it from the outside world. So it really does start there. And the thing about it is that, Deborah, you tell me, I have to say that you can't, I don't believe, maybe you'll tell me I'm wrong, but I don't believe that you can sit there and say, this all sounds like a great idea. And if I do this 1.5 years or 2 years or 3 years from now, I might be making some nice coin on this. But I really have no interest in writing and I have no interest in researching product. And I really hate to sit down and write a blog post. But this sounds like a great way to make money, right? Like you have to be inclined to do it. It's, you know what I'm saying, right?
You have to be all in.
Yes, it's just too much work to be, that's a great idea. Like, you may as well just, I don't know, dig a hole every day and make money for how many holes you can make, right? I mean, because it's like podcasting. There's so many podcasts coming up now and it's hysterical and I love it. And more power to them, because we all know the more podcasters there are, it's like bloggers 10 years ago, the more there are, the more all of the other opportunities that come along with it go. But it's funny because the number of podcasters that have 4 episodes and you never see them again, it's because it's not easy.
No, it's not. You have to be all in. But it's part of a revenue stream. Like for me, my blog is part of my revenue stream, but I'm an interior designer. That's where I really work. That's where I really make my money. Right. But I know that this online environment has created an audience. It's opened up conversation amongst my peers that I've never had before. It's also given me opportunities. It's cast a wide net of opportunities for me outside of just being a designer in my local community. It's given me a bigger focus, And I just really, I find that I'm getting more consults as a result, which I love consults. Not everybody has a whole house or a full living room or a full kitchen for me to renovate. They just need 2 hours of my time. I
Right.
love these. These are great too.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
I think that my blog has opened up that conversation because I talk about resources. I talk about, some of the issues that people are having with their homes. So,
Right.
there's a multiple levels as to why you do it, but the key is to know that traffic and content are the most important things for creating money.
Right,
And
right. And that's hard work. Honestly, it's hard
yes,
work. You have to really put your head down and you have to be interested in it and you have to be passionate about it. And you also have to not lose sight of your main money maker, which is your
right.
interior design firm, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, and also know that just because you're participating in social media doesn't mean your goal is to be an influencer. I mean, there's two levels. So, like an influencer, it is a full-time job. But I think that all brands, services, shops, and interior designers and architects, I'm working with an architect in California now, they really need to be in social media to increase their visibility. Social media is giving you this opportunity for greater visibility. It's not all just about, oh, I have a blog and I'm making money now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's really just about creating visibility for your business. And that's important too,
Right, right, right.
you know.
Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, hey, people have to find us in order to patronize
Yes.
us, right? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's why I created, like, even though I love being in interior design, I love doing the consults, I also have these visibility packages because I realize that there are these great businesses and people just need to learn about them and they need to engage with people to have them find them.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about there is a section on your website on the left column that says sites we love or something. And there you post the blogs of Studio McGee, of the Trim Queen, of Centered by
Yes.
Design, and Carla Aston and Linda Holt and others. So
Yes.
tell me what is happening there from both. Look, I know a lot of these people personally. I've interviewed them on the show,
Hmm.
so my guess is that probably all of them are personal friends of yours as well. So is it
Yes.
simply sharing the love and a good karma thing, or is there some kind of, angle there from a standpoint of business?
Well, I don't know if that's kind of my online posse, really.
That's your crew.
Yeah, some of them are legends, and I just love to follow them and share with legends with people. But most of them are my posse, and so I've actually included a link to their site because they've included a link to my site on theirs. So we're helping each other. We're cross-pollinating with each other and supporting each other.
Okay. And
So
so
most of
that's
those
something
links
that
are
you would,
because
do you do that when you don't know the person? It's almost like, is there etiquette there again? So almost all of these you've just said personally, and you are cross-pollinating. So Claire at Centered by Design probably has links to your site, and Linda Holton and Carla XYZ. But now,
yes.
is Studio McGee, is Shay McGee somebody that you just admire, and she's,
Oh, she's a legend. So
right, well,
she's
right, of
there because
course.
she's a legend, and if anybody's interested in interior design, I would like them to know about her
Right,
because
but
she
that's
has
not
a
a
lot to
cross
share.
pollination. Shay is
No,
not
that's
sharing
my
your.
legend listing.
Okay, and
It's probably
so
not helping my SEO because it sends traffic away from my site. So ultimately, but I really believe in her message and what she's sharing with people, and she has a lot of great content. And if someone, discovers her through my site, then I'm happy to have given that to them.
okay, and so again, that is not that ickiness. It's not like, what are you doing posting my site on yours? That's an admiration thing. That's
Yes.
like, I want to share you with the world. So if
Yes.
you have blogs, like if somebody is starting a brand new blog and they are a brand new baby designer and they now learn about you and they go and read your website and your blogs and they admire you, and all of a sudden a link to your blog is on their site, you're not going to go, that's icky. You're going to be, yay, thank you. Am I correct?
Yeah, so, this is a Google conversation really. Also, just so you know, I mean, as far as a admiration in interior design, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a Google issue with this, and that is basically creating relevance for your site is based on who you link to. You don't want to have a lot of sites that you link to. Most of your links on your site need to be what we call a rel no follow. But if they're relevant to your content, it's okay to make them a follow link. So, that's just it in kind of a conceptual sense, and it's okay to have that. It's great.
So, okay, so rel no follow just went over my head. Relevant no follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah,
It's a Google conversation.
Right. So, but my question is because, look, we've got newer designers and bloggers listening that I don't want to mistake this information. So, is it okay, guys, it's one thing to pick somebody ahead of the curve on you. In your case, you've got to go all the way to the top of the food chain at Shay McGee in order to consider her a legend and somebody ahead of the curve on you. But for many of us, you're that legend that's ahead of the curve, or Carla is, or Linda is, right? So
yes.
I want to be very clear so that is it the type of thing that you're saying is, look, if you're going to have 10 links to 10 other bloggers and none of them are reciprocating from a Google standpoint, you're really probably doing yourself a disservice. Whereas if you had one or two that are truly relevant, truly align with your message, and or you truly just simply admire the way you do Shay, that's okay. Because I don't want people going out and putting 20 different blog links on their blog if we've just said, no, really, that's like you're
99% of those people I've listed there have a link to my site.
That's
on their
what I'm
site.
saying. Right. Okay.
But I do have a few leaders there because if someone is interested in decor and they've come to my site and they've learned a little bit and they want to see who I read, I'm happy to share it with them.
Okay. But that's the distinction I make. If you're a brand new blogger, don't put 10 links to 10 other bloggers' sites and none of them are your personal friends or acquaintances.
Correct.
And they're linking back to you. Okay.
Yeah, you really need to be aligned with their message and feel that your audience is going to be interested in them. It's not always just because they link to me. It's because I know they have information there that's valuable and can help people. So
right. And go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, so for example, like Linda Hall, she is a friend of mine and I do like her, but I know her message. She talks a lot about her design and how she works, but she also has this piece about photography that's amazing.
Yes.
And so I know that my readers are going to like that. So I know that everybody I've listed there is relevant to my audience.
Okay. A, relevant, but B, also linking back to you.
Yes, so Carla Aston, the same thing.
Right, exactly.
We link to each other, and she has wonderful information on her site. Whether you're looking to know how to pick the right tile for your backsplash, or how to, which wood floor direction should you be running your wood floors. She just has an incredible amount of information on her site that my readers are interested in.
Right. So just to, again, I just have to make everything so really crystal clear. When we were in the beginning talking about affiliate links for Amazon, there's no ickiness there. There's no detriment there if it's a complete stranger to you, as long as the product and the service aligns with your message and your brand and you truly believe in it. But when you're talking about a brand new blog with not a lot of followers, it is not that it's icky to link out to other bloggers, but that it's counterproductive to you as a blogger. That's the distinction. One or two people that you admire, but not a list of yours. And I looked at your list. My assumption was that you knew most of them because I knew most of them, right? So we're in the same circle. But I might not know that, right? I mean, you might not have. And so I really needed clarification on that. And I think that's very important. Don't start a blog and then put 10 people on there and think that's flattering to them, which it is, but it's detrimental to your site is the point.
Yeah. Okay. The most important thing is to focus on your message and creating quality content.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's there's a lot of there's a lot of technical stuff when it comes to the googly man. You know what I mean?
You have to make sure Google likes you because they own it.
That's right.
They own this space.
That's right.
It is the most important knowing, and also too, don't be afraid of Google. Just, they have lots of information and tutorials on how to do things. It's, and if you play nicely, you get traffic from them. So it's important to understand that, friend.
Right. That's really the thing there is that you have to there's so much to know, but you do want to get the basics down pat. And so like if we're going to review the basics, the number one thing is that you must be passionate about blogging to think that you're going to sustain any sort of blog that gets you to the level of possibly earning money, right?
This is a marathon. This is not a sprint.
Exactly right.
Right?
That's the number one thing. You have to be passionate about it because you're never going to be able to sustain it to the long curve that it takes to make the income back from it. Okay. But if you're a talented writer and you are passionate, it's a good thing to start on the side as you grow your design business. Hey, right?
Start some of these methods, start working with them, start understanding how to, work them because it takes time. And, you're basically just kind of warming up your engine. You're making it that you have the skills and the intent. I mean, like you're saying, stay in your line. If your intent is to monetize your site, then know how you're going to do that and focus on that and be consistent.
I love it. Okay. So, lots of information. I really appreciate your letting me, pick those things apart to make sure that we get the distinctions and the clarity on them. And, but you also are consulting and you are doing this for interior designers and other creatives, like you mentioned, architect and so forth, but you are consulting. And if somebody is interested in working with you, they can contact you and you guys can have a conversation about if it might be a right fit. Is that correct?
Yes, I have this. It's called the visibility package. So basically, it's an opportunity to make your business more visible. And by activating in some of these platforms, I can help you do that. And it's a 3-month start. And during that process, I also teach people about what I'm doing. And they can either continue on their own or they can, stop at that point and just reactivate it in 6 months when they have a message or something they want to get out there. So it's really an opportunity for people to stay doing what they do best. Like being an interior designer, working on interior design projects doesn't give you always time to create a visibility package for yourself in social media. So having someone that you can call on that understands your industry is what has been asked of me lately. And so I created a package out of these requests.
Well, isn't that the best thing? They start asking you what they want you to do.
Yes.
Will you please do this for me? Well, okay. Let me figure out how to do that for you.
Yeah. So I have it there, but I'm relaunching my website and there'll be a package that you can just buy online. But right now I have it listed on my site and you can call me and we can work something out.
Okay, perfect. And what is the website? Tell us the website.
So my interior design website is dvdinteriordesign.com. It's because I'm Deborah Von Donop. Most people can't say my full name, so all my life I've been DVD. So it's dvdinteriordesign.com.
Okay, awesome. Well, Deborah, I am just so thankful that you came on and helped us understand a little bit about how we could take a look at the possibility of maybe being one of those big bloggers like you and Carla and Claire and Jana and, Linda and all the others that we've had on the show and we admire. And it's a little bit of a roadmap to sort of maybe emulate you. And of course, as we just said, your services are available if you want to pay to play and get up to speed faster.
Yes. And I highly recommend attend conferences, go learn information, meet people. Your network is really your biggest resource for growing. But I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about some of these ideas and how they affect us when we're trying to grow.
Thank you so much.
It. Thank you very much.
A few key things to remember from Deborah's conversation here today. Number one, you must be credible, right? You have to be authentic. It's repeated over and over again, but what's crazy is it's so basic, but it's so true, right? So be credible. Second, you must create abundance of quality content. You have to teach your readers something. You have to give them value. And she also said you want to create engagement with your readers. Talk to them, inspire them to live in well-designed homes. Make them really feel it, right? The other thing that Deborah said is give, and then give, and then give some more. And then you can think about monetizing. So after you have given of yourself, your time, and your expertise, then you can ask for something in return of your readers. Deborah described blogging as a karma space. I love that analogy. It's a good one to keep you focused on what you are going for. Be sure to check out Deborah's website and her blog at dvdinteriors.com for inspiration, for ideas, and for info on how you can emulate her. Also, you can learn about her visibility packages for designers. Alrighty, now I just want to tell you, next week I will be at the Blanche Garcia event, Designers Empowered Lunch. That is Thursday the 17th in Montclair, New Jersey. So I'd love for you to come out. There is a link on luannenigara.com for the RSVP with more details, okay? On Sunday the 20th, I will be at Wanted Design in New York City from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I'll be on a panel. Yes, rather than moderating a panel, I will be on a panel. And we're going to be talking about how to run a creative business. Hello. Now, this event is with Modinas and Design Milk. So I hope you'll join us there. And then during the week, I have 3 more events happening. Okay, so on the 22nd, we have the Making of a Well-Designed Business at Lefroy Brooks in New York City. This is for opening night of the ICFF, and that will be at the A&D building. All right, that's 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. There's also webinars with the WCAA and the IDS virtual chapter. So there's all this information is on my website at luannenigara.com. Click on live events for all the details, luannenigara.com. All right, let's remember to show a little love to our sponsors, please. We have Cravat, who is now offering you 10% off any fabric, trim, or wallpaper order. Any Cravat fabric, trim, or wallpaper order. All you have to do is specify it on your next project. Save it for a big one is what I'm going to say. Specify it for a big one, right? And then at checkout, enter the code AW. Okay, a well-designed business. AWDB10. All right, AWDB10 for 10% off the entire one order of a Cravat fabric, trim, or wallpaper. All right, and then we have mydomastudio.com, okay? What are you doing? Are you organized? Do you have all of your project in one place? All your communication with your client? All of your communication with your vendor? Are you creating projects and packages that you can sell in your sleep like Wendy Wallace-Chuck does? She does it through mydomastudio.com. If you missed that episode, it was a couple of weeks ago, and she described how she creates packages that her clients are buying when she is, taking a walk on the beach. So if you're interested, go to mydomastudio.com/a-well-designed-business and learn how you can organize your projects and you can sell and create packages while you're doing other things. All right. Which kind of goes in line with the idea of the podcast today, right? To monetize things that you're doing, to make money while you're doing other things, right? And then don't forget, we have Camp Chroma. We talk about niching. The other day we had a show with Joe Buckerfield from the UK, from South Wales. Amazing show. Tons of feedback on that show. And she niches her business and leads forward with kitchen design, but then goes on to do luxury design for almost all of her clients. And so if you are thinking about niching and maybe color is a particular thing for you that you love, then you might want to go to campchroma.com. Campchroma.com is an online, on-demand resource for you to learn how to be a color strategist so that you understand the science of color and that you can confidently specify paint colors for your projects. Alrighty? So, lastly, are you following me on Instagram yet? Luann Nigara? Follow me there. That's where all the shenanigans are, okay? And also on Facebook at A Well-Designed Business. And you also can be on our email list if you just want to text the word Design Biz. No caps, no spaces. Design Biz to 444-999. Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it and value that you show up each week to be here. and listen to the things that we do here. But I want to know, what do you do after you listen? All right? Do you pick one thing? Do you make a move? Do you do something? Do something. Do one thing. Just put it on your to-do list and actually do it and cross it off. Okay? Decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at luannigara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.